Then one other thing I would say is that, it's just sad to see all of this because River State, the old River State, is the crown jewel of Nigeria. Old River State that includes the current River State and Bayelsa State. That was where oil was discovered in Nigeria. In the eastern region, that was where oil was discovered. Because of the oil that was found in the eastern region, in the old River State, that was some of the things that led to the Civil War, where the eastern region felt that, oh, they have oil, they have access to the ocean and everything, so they could go their way, And then when Gowon created the old River State and some other states and isolated the eastern heartland, it now drove the move for civil war. So the old River State has been a crown jewel where people see it as, oh, this is something that could get us to the promised land. Crown jewel that, gave impetus for a fight of civil war for regional control. And then we've seen that for years and years, since Nigeria, democracy, since return to democracy in 1999, we've just seen leaders from River State using resources of River State to fight for national elections. And they haven't gotten anything from it. They haven't. They've not gotten except Jonathan, who is from Bayelsa State, of the old River State, and it's because of Jonathan. But if you remove Bayelsa State, the current River State, you've had people, the Odilis, you have the Ameshis, you have Wike, spending the resources of the state in trying to pursue national elections. And they've not been president, they've not been vice president. If you remove Jonathan, who is from Bayelsa State, they've not gotten those things. But they keep spending money. This current situation now, Wike, with the money they are spending, where is it? Where are those money coming from? The money they are spending in on your mandate we stand, the renewed hope campaign, where is it going to come from? For Fobara to be able to make his stance known and to get access to the president and APC and all that, they're going to spend money. At the end of the day, towards what end? Wike is spending a lot of money. Then at the end, it's not the money that Wike is spending now. It's not going to be president. It's not going to be vice president. It's going to be a minister at best. It's going to be a minister. And for the governor, at best, is re-election. But what do the people of Rivers State stand to gain from this? It's the people of Rivers State that are being shortchanged. It's the people of Rivers State that are suffering because the resources of the states have been continually used by people from the state, political leaders from the state, who think that by using that they'll be able to get into a presidency or vice presidency. And it has not panned out. And the same situation is repeating itself for 2027, where people are just using the resources of the state for personal goals and personal ambitions, and not really for anything for the betterment of the state. So whether you like it or not, the smart, strategic political leaders at the national level are now they've seen the situation by, we've seen that the FCT minister is compromised. FCT minister is compromised because he has to pander to the favor of the president. He has to pander. He wants the president to support him. So he's going to use the resources of the state as much as he can get to support the president. The governor is now compromised because they keep holding the issue of impeachment over him. So at the end of the day, what happens? The, the leaders from the state who are either elected or in high appointed are being used. And they are too full of their own ego to know that they are being used and to see that this isn't right. It's not right for the resources of a state to be continually used to serve the interests of national leaders who couldn't care less about what is going on in the state. The crown jewel of the country, where oil was discovered in the country, and where the vast oil resources of the country lies. People there are not enjoying the benefits, the dividends of what democratic rule should bring. And then we now have selfish, politicians, selfish political leaders who just care for their own self-interest and who just will do anything to maintain political relevance, even if it means undermining the interests of the people, even if it means undermining what is for the best interest of the people. And it's just sad to watch. It's just sad to watch. We saw that situation. I'm from Delta State. Saw that situation with the former governor of Delta State. He was picked. Alhaji Atiku picked Ifeanyi Okowa as running mate because they want to take advantage of the resources of Delta State to run national elections. At the end of the day, what happens? How did it pan out? Okowa used Okowa used what he had to get that vice presidential ticket, and got that vice presidential ticket. He lost. And look at the EFCC case that came. The allegations of up to 1 trillion naira. And now himself and the current governor have now switched and now saying, on your mandate we stand. You know what it means for you not to be faced with EFCC case going to 1 trillion allegedly. You know what it implies. So you see a state like my state, Delta, oil rich Delta State, when somebody drowned in the river, in the sea or river near the state, no emergency services. No emergency services in oil rich Delta State to provide services for somebody who drowned in the river. And you just have people taking him up and down to mortuary, to traditional healers. So just as the resources of Delta State is being used because politicians think, oh, we are going to get favor by that. At the end of the day, you have a situation by no national office was won by it. The resources was just wasted. The same scenario is playing in Rivers State now, where the resources of the state is being deployed for the interest of people who don't care so much about the people. They only care about themselves, about their words, and about their allies and all of that. Let me not go into this. You have a former governor, current senator, a private jet with a mysterious lady. This is somebody who was a labor leader, somebody who got popularity from being a labor leader, two-term governor, current senator, bringing somebody bringing Model Okpewolo to become governor in Edo State. And now he has a lot of money, a lot of money in getting private jets and carrying ladies in in a private jet. The resources of states being used to serve selfish interest. Where in states where there's high level of unemployment, poor healthcare system, poor road network, insecurity. He is a senator in his constituents. Constituents are being taken into the bush on the daily, ransom being paid on the daily, people being unalived on the daily. And he goes to Abuja, stays in Abuja, says a lot of high sounding words. He knows how to talk. And then you see him, you see, what business is he doing? What business is he running? Even a Dangote, the richest black man in the world, Dangote will not do what he did. The richest black man in the whole world will not do what Senator Adams Oshomole did. He won't, because that is somebody who made his money, and that's somebody who is responsible in taking care of his affairs. You can't see a Dangote doing that. That you have somebody who has been a serial public servant, who is not known to have a who not known to have large investments or large businesses and all that. You can see what is happening. So you can just see Edo State resources being used to serve the interests of a few political class. Delta State, we see how it happened. In River State, we're seeing how it's happening now. And you have large population of young people, unemployed, um semi-employed, unemployed, underemployed, and many of whom have certain skills but no opportunities. Many of whom are graduates but no opportunities. And you see the leaders using these resources to fight certain myopic and selfish interest. And at the end of the day, what do we have? We just have people who will waste money and waste money in serving their own interest without caring about the people. At the end of the day, they will share some money. When it comes to election time, they are going to share some money, rent crowd and all that, and get people to vote for them. It's just so sad. Sad. And it's really upsetting. Looking at all of this situation is really upsetting, you know, to see. I just hope that these politicians will just have a moment where they have sober reflection, look at these situations and ask themselves, what 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 are they really doing, right? You choose a life of public service to serve the people, but now you're making the people to serve you, and you're using the resources of the people to serve your own selfish interests. And that's really upsetting. All I can say is, to all these people that are doing this, just remember, there is God. There is God.